The Empty Pot. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a wise and kind king who had no children. As he grew older, he wanted to find a worthy successor to take care of the kingdom after him. He decided to hold a contest for all the citizens of the land. Young and old, the winner would become the next king. The king called everyone together and gave each person a special seed. He told them, "Plant this seed, take care of it, and bring the grown plant to me in 6 months. Whoever has the best plant will be my successor." One of the citizens was a young boy named Liam. He was excited about the challenge and carefully planted his seed in a small pot. Every day, he watered it and gave it sunlight. But weeks went by and nothing happened. No plant grew. He tried everything, but the seed remained lifeless. Liam felt sad and worried. He knew that if he brought an empty pot, everyone would laugh at him. As the 6 months came to an end, Liam had no choice but to bring his empty pot to the king. When he arrived at the royal palace, many others were already there, proudly showing off their healthy and beautiful plants. The plants were tall, colorful, and impressive. Liam stood quietly, holding his empty pot. Finally, the king came to see all the plants. He looked at each one carefully and smiled at the people who had brought their flowers. But when he saw Liam's empty pot, he walked over and asked, "Liam, why did you bring an empty pot?" Liam nervously explained, "Your Majesty, I tried everything I could, but the seed you gave me did not grow. I don't know why, but no matter how hard I tried, nothing came from it." The king looked around at the other pots and plants. He then turned to the crowd and smiled again. "I am pleased to announce that Liam is the winner of this contest," he said. The crowd gasped in surprise. The king continued, "But before I explain why, let me ask each of you a question." He turned to the first person in line and asked, "How did you manage to grow such a beautiful plant?" The person smiled proudly and said, "I took great care of it, watered it every day, and gave it plenty of sunlight. Your Majesty, I'm sure this plant will impress you." The king nodded and moved to the next person. "And you, how did you grow your plant?" The second person replied, "I did everything just like the first person, water, sunlight, and patience. My plant grew strong and healthy." The king asked several more people, and all of them gave the same answer, how they had watered, taken care of, and nurtured the seeds. Finally, the king turned to the crowd and said, "It seems everyone here took great care of their plants. But I will reveal something to all of you. The seeds I gave you are all boiled. They could never grow. So my question is, how did you manage to grow such beautiful plants?" The crowd fell silent. They looked at each other nervously. One by one, they started to step forward and admit their mistakes. One person said, "Your Majesty, I am sorry. I thought the seed you gave me wouldn't grow, so I switched it with another seed that I knew would grow." Another person confessed, "I also replaced the seed with one I had at home. I didn't want to lose the contest." Soon, everyone in the crowd admitted that they had cheated by swapping the seeds with ones that would actually grow. They all stepped forward, apologizing for their dishonesty. The king smiled gently and said, "Liam, however, is the only one who did not cheat. He was honest with me, even when it meant showing an empty pot. This is the kind of integrity I need in my successor." Liam stood tall as the king declared him the winner. The king turned to the crowd and said, "This is the lesson we must learn today. True greatness does not come from appearances or winning at any cost. It comes from honesty and integrity, even when no one is watching." The people of the kingdom all bowed their heads, ashamed of their actions, but they were grateful for the king's wisdom. They promised to always value truth over success in the future. Honesty and integrity are worth more than success or appearances.